the biggest surprise from the blocks is it's not fear of relationship, it's fear of relational individuation. So I'm not just choosing a partner, I'm choosing a different relational lineage, which was the thing that landed the biggest. But then there were other things that came up, and the beliefs that I'm kind of working with now is I'm walking away from that relationship lineage, and I'm walking towards I can remain myself while getting to know someone. Welcome to Permission the Podcast. I'm Dr. T, and this is my sister
Silvana, and we are two regular people talking about spirituality in our daily lives.
Each week, we're inviting you to the internal conversation. So let's get started.
With your permission. Hi, we're back.
Welcome back to Permission the Podcast.
This week, we are going to be talking about the blocks.
Yeah.
This is a really interesting topic as more you, right? You've been really diving into the blocks you have, and tell me about it.
You know, it started with, I was listening to this one person, Bill Swan. You know, I recommended something by her, and someone said, "You mean the cult leader?" And I was like, what?
Wow, okay.
So, you know, I don't know if she is or she isn't.
Is it a cult?
I feel like it could be as much of a cult as Joe Dispenza.
Okay. So it's more, okay, I got it.
It's
just a lot of people aligning with her as with Joe, and yeah, he has his followers.
He has his followers, and he leads people. Yeah. And people believe in him.
Correct. And so, sure. Is it a cult? No, but okay, let's move on. Talk to me about your experience listening to the cult leader.
Take me to your leader. No. I don't even know how it happened. I think it might have been one of those autoplay things on Spotify. You know how you listen, you click a freaking thing on
the suggestions,
like a podcast, right. and then it auto plays some random
just
ass
like, hey,
other shit.
You're gonna have this,
yeah. You listen to this, so here's some left
it's the algorithm
stuff. Right, whatever. So I'm pretty sure it auto played Teal Swan, and I actually like her. I think she's very direct, no nonsense, very strong, opinionated, and
your kind of girl.
Yeah, she has pretty interesting, firm beliefs about things, and she sugarcoats nothing. She's like, wassa, that's it. She's slicing it, you know. Cult leader or not, I listened to, you know, a 15-minute entry that she did on Spotify. And it really got me thinking about, you know, the title of the thing was, I think, financial something. What's blocking you financially or whatever. And she went into, okay, what is the want? What is the desire? And what are your blocks? Answer these kind of questions. So I wrote them down because I thought, oh, this is fascinating. So what do you want? What are the blocks? If I were to maintain this belief to preserve my idea of someone or my view of someone, who would that someone be? And how would this belief manage to do that? And then she asked, having everything I want, this would be a problem for who? And then can I know this is absolutely true? And usually the answer is no. What are beliefs I want to have versus the blocks that you believe? And how can I prove this?
Does she go into replacing the blocks into new beliefs?
Yeah, having new beliefs. So I found it fascinating. And the first thing that I thought of was, okay, how do I do this for relationships? So I know the podcast was based on financial stuff, but
it could really apply to everything.
to
To me, it
anything
sounds
you want.
like you're going into the root of the problem. Your mental block, your barrier. And so as you get to the root, that could be applied to absolutely everything. Okay. And so go on. So you did the questions for love. It's not February anymore.
No, it's not. It's not. It's really not.
It spilled over into March.
Well,
I mean, the series we had.
so I was talking to my friend actor, and she was kind of helping me kind of look at some relationship patterns that have been coming up, and I've kind of been wondering what has been happening for me in relationship. And because I have this tendency sometimes to, when I'm confused or not understanding something, I look to the stars. You know that.
Like you put your head up and you look at the stars?
No, astrology.
That's beautiful. Because I kind of do that when I leave a place or something. I always look up at the stars. And anyway, whatever. I'm like, oh, I can imagine you looking. I'm like, you're in New York City. What stars are you looking at?
Look at the stars.
Okay, go ahead.
And Neptune fucked my life. Neptune went into Pisces 2011. 2011 is when I met A. So Neptune and Pisces are like potato. They're like the same. They're dreamy, they're illusion, they're fantasy, they're same. And Pisces happens to be my relationship house. So
okay.
Like delusion on top of illusion in my house of relationship. And that is ending. Well, that has ended January.
So you feel relieved?
Yeah, finally.
Okay, good. Okay, but you give all of this credit to Neptune. Like
well, wait.
It's like you fucked my life. It's like, am I really?
Wait, so Saturn, the teacher, the one that gives you your lessons, the one that schools you, the one that kind of rains down and gives you a lesson, has also been in my house of relationship for the past 2.5 years. It started, so Saturn has been in Pisces since March 2023. I got a divorce July 2023.
Been that long. Okay.
And so Saturn is leaving my house of relationship in February. So it has already left.
Wait, this is a good thing?
Yes. I need it to be gone.
Got it.
So, and it's interesting because talk about permission, right? I've been kind of wondering what the hell is happening with me in relationships. And then I look into Neptune, I look into Saturn. And the friend that I was talking to, actor, she was like, I just got a reading from an astrologer. I don't know if I want to go again, because she's having the experience of finding things out beforehand. And I told her, well, I don't know if it makes a difference, right? Like, I feel like I've been fucked in my relationships. So I'm looking at the stars kind of after the fact. You're looking at them to look at what's coming up. I mean, potato, right? I mean, is it going to change anything? No, you're going to live your life. And this is telling you, this is going to be here. Okay. You're going to experience it. Are you going to go through X, Y, and Z? Are you going to know? Would it have changed anything 2011 if I knew that Neptune was in Pisces in my house of relationship? It wouldn't have changed anything. I would have done the exact same thing, So,
okay.
Does it matter? I don't know. So we were having this discussion about, like, does it make sense to to do a reading and know beforehand. And I was like, listen, I'm finding out after the fact, and it's kind of like same. I don't know if it would have mattered, right? But anyways, regardless, I was looking into that, and then and this podcast, it's hard to say podcast because it was like 15 minutes. This like blurb came up about blocks, and I started looking at blocks, and it went into something pretty interesting that I've not,
my voice went like deep,
that I had not thought of before. One being, in order to be, no, one of the things that came up was closeness requires unconsciousness. I was like, wow, that is a strange core belief. Closeness requires unconsciousness is what came up.
Well, coming from the relationship you were, I understand it.
Coming from relationship we were modeled.
That's well, yeah.
I also understand it.
Yeah.
So that was really interesting to actually look at. To be in a relationship, I must abandon my boundaries, my ambition, my rhythm, my peace. So that's kind of what was underneath all of that. I fear being dysregulated or annihilated is what came up, which is a lot of things now I have to work on. The thing that was really surprising, because I wrote down, there's something about this that keeps me close to my parents at a distance, right? And I didn't really kind of understand what that meant. But then I was able to go into it. Thank you, chat. So if it was able to go into how my parents have a relational lineage, and that I'm functioning within this relational lineage. And that is what I'm loyal to. I'm loyally bound to this way of relating, and believing that, you know, silence is weaponized, right? And intimacy is collapsing or annihilating. And if I were to leave those beliefs, I would be betraying the family relating kind of dynamic and somehow become separate. So not a fear of relationship, it's a fear of relational individuation. So being able to stand outside of the model that was given to me and say, okay, you know, you did this way of relating, and I'm no longer going to do it anymore. And I feel like that was really big.
And yeah. And when you sent me what you got from your conversations with chat, it makes sense, you know, like, and also thinking back at you about all of us going to college and you staying home with them in the middle of, you know, a lot of arguing and them not getting along. And, you know, so I understand, you know, how that could affect you. Well, and in a way, all of us really, because we all saw it. It's something that I had to look in the mirror too when it came to, okay, why have I been in this relationship for this long when I really got, I don't want to say nothing, but I really was on my own. So basically, it was like not being in a relationship. And that felt amazing for a long time, right? And so just looking myself in the mirror and saying, okay, why? And the things that came up were like, okay, all disappointment that I had from men through my life, starting from my father, right? How he was as a husband to mom, how he was a father, but not really present because he was working. And one of the earliest memories I have of mom is me being little and she crying in the bathroom and I'm hugging her and I'm like, why are you crying? You know, like I can't help her, but I wanted to help her. And I wanted to understand why she was crying. And there was a lot of that, like a lot of my mom just taking, but also not being able to communicate what she was feeling. And so I would say, why are you crying? Why are you crying? So I would hug her, but there was really no communication. But the communication I got is like, you have to be independent, don't depend on men, like this is the sense I got from her. And so boom, here we are.
Wow.
So at the same time, I'm like, okay, but yet I'm in a place in my life where I understand that everything I signed up for to learn, my mom, my dad, and everybody around me has signed up to show it to me. And so I'm grateful for the lessons. I'm grateful for where I am right now. I'm looking at everything. Okay, even the hard times or the hard moments were blessings for me to learn what I wanted to learn. And so that's how I look at people now.
Yeah. So, okay, how was the time that my parents spent separate for you?
So when they separated, the one thing I remember just being, to me, it was more like, oh, this is so annoying because mom and dad weren't talking to each other. So for my mom, my dad was that man. That man. I'm like, you mean my dad? Yeah, that man. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. So to me, it was like, okay, it was really hard to create, to spend time as a family. Okay, yeah, you're separated, but we cannot be a family because we either have to choose, do we bring mom or do we bring dad? And that to me it just felt like too much work. Like, why are we doing this? This is so annoying. And why can't you just call him your father? That man. And so was it difficult? Yeah, but in a way, I was too busy living my life at that moment. You know what I mean? Like I was more focused on, okay, college, okay, whatever I was doing, that the amount of time I was placing into spending with the family had to be divided into like, okay, now I'm going to go visit dad. Now I'm going to go, and so that felt to me annoying because it's not like I had a lot of time I was spending with family at that moment. I was like being young and doing things. So to split the time was difficult. And all of us live with mom. So, the house, we were all with mom. So spending time with mom was more than spending with dad. So we didn't see much of him, right?
Yeah, I didn't really know.
And so that was like the annoying part. I'm like, for instance, for, I don't know, holidays, any holiday, it was just like, and they weren't apart for that long. Like, what
How
was it?
long were they
2 years or something like that?
Yeah. So, no, I mean also like 1990,
1983.
1990.
Well, yeah. No, when that was a long time and we were in Peru. Yes.
Yeah. So, what
But
I'm
that,
kind of
but that
bringing
was,
it back to is you saw mom being alone and functioning by herself in a relationship by herself and never saw my dad.
but also when I was a kid, the memories that I'm telling you about the crying, about the arguing, it was when I was a kid, like little. So I saw that interaction that you saw, that, dad liked to drink in the weekends, mom hated drinking, and there was always an argument at the end of the day because of that. Even if he was drinking with family, it didn't matter. It was just like mom hated the drinking part. And so there was always, you were like, you already knew, okay, here we go. Here's a drinking in the weekend with grandma or whoever he was drinking with, right? Our uncles. But at the end of the night, you knew dad was going to drink way too much and mom was going to get annoyed about it and upset and start arguing. And so like that was like a routine almost, right? They're like so opposites.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I feel like it's interesting to think back on because I was, born. And so I guess it was normal for me to just be around mom.
Yeah. But and no, and also you're right. When mom came back because she was pregnant with you and dad stayed in the US working 3 jobs or whatever he was doing to support us, it was just mom. And that was the normal. That's the normal I got. So to me, being in the relationship I was, where I basically was alone in a way, or he was present. He goes to sleep early and whatnot. But just just me doing everything on my own. Okay, it felt comfortable. It felt amazing. Like I'm independent still. Because mind you, I'm an Aquarius. Like I am. I love being a free spirit, being independent, feeling all of that freedom in a way. So that felt amazing for a long time until I was just like, no, there's need to be more of this. There's got to be more to it than just like this. And started reflecting. I'm like, okay, why does this feel okay? Why did it feel okay for so long or comfortable? It's kind of like being at a job that you're comfortable with, but it's not giving you any, you don't feel passionate about. You're not learning anything new. You know what I mean? Like you're just in this place. It feels comfortable. You get in your paycheck and nothing changes.
Did you ever make that connection about my parents' way of relating? And
I made it because of mom, because I remember I have that vivid memory of her, of the crying, of the arguing. And I want to say, that was with the drinking, like, did you ever saw aggression? Because to me, he was like, they would argue, obviously, but physical aggression, you ever saw that?
He was aggressive, but also it was scary because he was driving all the time.
Oh, with the drinking, yes.
And I was there,
Yeah. I used to think, he used to make jokes about it, like, I drive better when I'm drunk. And I'm like, yeah, no. I would have to say, though, he wasn't like a fast driver or anything. When he was, he was pretty slow going, slow. He still drives slow. But what I mean is, like, was he ever physically abusive?
No.
Did you ever see that?
He had posturings, but no.
What do you mean? Explain that word. I don't understand.
Like he would kind of like to my mom, he would kind of like, leave me alone. I do all the things. I can have a drink,
Yeah. Okay, so I saw that, but I do have a memory, and I don't know if it's real or not, but I do have a memory of over dad being a little more aggressive towards mom, but not like hitting her or anything like that, but just being aggressive to the point that I was like, so me, I didn't start drinking till I was 22 because of that, all that arguing and fighting over like the drinking in the weekends, so I'm like, I had no interest in trying alcohol. I had been so, I don't know, like it was just like people act stupid when they drink. You know what I mean? Like that was what I got from that. So I started a little late drinking when I tried it. I mean, I was 22. Yeah.
That's interesting. I did feel some sort of way about my dad drinking, and I feel like I had this fantasy of us getting pulled over by a cop, and
that will stop it.
Yeah, but it
never happened.
Like no, it never happened.
You know why? Because he was a careful driver. He was a slow driver. He wasn't like, he was just like, okay. And funny thing, I'm really close to my dad. And we have a lot of things like, in common. Like we're very artistic and we share a lot of things. And we do like having a glass of wine together. And it's one of the things I love doing with him. Like I don't drink as much, but if my dad wants a glass of wine, I'll have a glass of wine with him. He doesn't drink as much as either, right? Like, but yeah. And yeah, at the same time, I used to think and be like, I don't want to say that annoyed with mom, but me like, my dad is home. He's drinking with your mom and your brother. They're just conversating. What's the big deal? It's Saturday. He's not doing this every day. He's doing Saturday with your mom and your brother and your other brother. And they're talking in Peruvian music, blah, blah. Like, why did it have to turn into such a awful thing? Like a fight at the end of the night.
Why the hell did she have to be with someone that drinks? Like, why?
She hated it. Right. I know, but it's just like at the same time, it's just like, okay, give the guy a pass. Right? He's working all week. He's having a drink with your mom and your brothers. Not like he's at a bar.
No, but it's not one drink. He's a full-blown functioning alcoholic.
On that one day, yeah.
He was a weekend
Sunday too.
He was
a weekend
binge
alcoholic.
Drinker. From Friday to Sunday. That's an alcoholic.
It was Saturday and Sunday.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Okay.
It was all weekend.
I don't remember Friday. Well, okay, whatever.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He was a weekend binge drinker, which does make you an alcoholic.
Okay.
He's not. He's over that now.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about the 80s. And yeah, okay.
Is that news?
No, I just like, to me,
you wouldn't have classified that.
Well, no, it is. There was a lot of drinking. Like, I'm like, okay, when are you going to stop drinking beers? And I mean, mind you, they were at the house for hours. What time would they come? Like, I don't know, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, whatever. And they were just until what, 11 o'clock at night?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, yeah, I guess you can classify it as an alcoholic. I never did.
Well, it's, I'm a psychologist. It's technically an alcoholic.
Yeah. So I had a problem with drinking too because of Marisa. Marisa was 18. I was 15. She used to drink a lot. Or 14. When I was 14, Marisa was 17. No. I'm sorry. Marisa is 5 years older than me. So Marisa was 19. And so I have a memory of, I took the bus to her school. And I don't know if I told this already at the podcast, but I took a bus to her school. And I was a kid, right? I had to go all the way to the center of Lima. So I had to take a couple of buses. So I had to learn how to get there. And I was supposed to meet her after she was done with her classes. So I get there. I'm a kid. I get to the school and she's nowhere to be found. I'm like, damn, how am I going to get back home? And so I'm there. And then I'm waiting and I'm like, okay, what do I do? What do I do? And then eventually she comes with a group of friends. And this group, I mean, they're her age, but some are older, right? Like some of the students are older and they were drunk. And I got so pissed. I'm like, you had me come here. I took 2 buses. I have like on my own. I was a kid and you weren't here. And I don't know if this is when I turned into her mom, but I was just like, this is so irresponsible. Like, why are you doing? Why did you do that? Why did you make me come? Why am I here? And so I started crying and I got really upset. And I don't know why I went to the second floor. I don't know if there was a bathroom there, whatever. I come out and one of her friends, I remember because his name is one of my current friends' name. His name is Gustavo. He starts. So I'm 14. I don't know how old he is. He's probably 20 or 20 something. He starts trying to like make me feel better. Right? Like, oh, you're upset. I'm sorry. It's just, he starts grabbing me, basically. He wanted to hug me and then he tried to kiss me or some shit like that.
My God.
And so that was like the cherry on top, right?
Yo.
And so now, okay, disappointment.
Wow. So intense.
And so and then I was just like, you know what? No, push that. And I'm like, we're leaving now.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, for a 14-year-old, yeah.
So how do you feel like my parents have shaped like how you relate to people?
Well, I feel like I've had to do a lot of healing to get to where I am, obviously. I remember even from just mom not being able to communicate her feelings. And although dad can communicate some stuff, it wasn't like he was a talker either or having conversations with us about emotional.
Only when he was drunk.
Exactly. And so, gosh, even just think about like when I got my period, I thought I was sick. Like, I'm getting sick. What is this stuff coming out? Like, am I dying? My mom gave me a book after the fact. Like, here, read. I'm like, really? Like the first stuff that comes out, that gooey stuff, like it's not even blood, but like, I was just like, what is this? What is this? Am I sick? And so, like those things, not having that support. And also remember the first time I liked somebody or fell, in love with somebody. I couldn't utter the words out of my mouth to say I love you. I couldn't. God. It was just like it wouldn't come out from here.
Just silence.
So I could feel it. I can do the action stuff because my mom would love with actions, service actions. So I was doing all of that, but I couldn't say it or just have a conversation about my feelings. That was really hard. And so little by little, like I started, then I lose. And so, that's how it was for me. I don't know, how was it for you?
Well, there was a lot of weaponized silence. There's a lot of a loss of identity. Like there's not enough room for me. I can't be myself. I'm afraid to lose the other person. I feel like mom was really like that. Like,
Yeah,
well, both of them weaponized silence,
in
right?
their ways.
There was silence, so they wouldn't talk to each other, so they were living together, and
when they were upset, they would have periods of, I don't know, sometimes days they wouldn't talk to each other, and I was like, okay, sign language,
right? And it was
hello.
the most uncomfortable thing ever. And I love silence.
You know what? So do I.
I love silence, but it was a weapon. You don't get to have this, right? So it was really difficult in that sense.
Did they use you, like, tell your father this? Did they use you as a messenger?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I should be laughing.
It was so dumb. So
I mean, I feel like we've healed that, or at least I have. And so, like, it's not like I'm laughing like, oh, it's funny that we go through all of this stuff, but it's more like, okay, I'm at peace. This is, this is not who I am right now, or it doesn't, or it doesn't define who I am.
Yeah. I mean, so I've pulled up the thing that I wrote, concerned about losing myself in service of the other. I think that was mom. My mom lost herself by trying to keep her relationship. I don't want so that I'm not out of control. I feel like my mother used things that she could control, like cleaning, to self-soothe because she wanted to be in this relationship, right? And she didn't want to lose control, but it was a double bind, So when I wrote a lot of this stuff down, I saw my parents, and it was really weird. Like, I don't want to disrupt my calm and peace, so I'm just going to stop talking and not ever going to talk to the other person. Really? That's not how it works, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of the things that I did write down as blocks, especially in relationship, just kind of reminded me patterns that my parents were in. I don't know what their day-to-day relationship is like now. Do you know what I mean?
I know. Yeah. No, I know because, well, first of all, they lived with me for a while. And their current relationship is more of patience, really. My dad is very patient with mom and vice versa. Although mom, how do I put it this way? Mom likes controlling, having certain control over certain things. So
that's because my father did whatever the hell he wanted.
Right. So now mom is just like, okay, you go to the senior center, you have to come back at 12. So he has to be, like he has like, okay, I gotta go. No, your mom's waiting for me. Okay. But they watch TV together, they do everything together. Is there love there? Yes, they love each other. And I don't know, they're different people too that they were before, right? Mom is not arguing with him about having a glass of wine when he has one with me.
No, she's over it.
Mom is joining in the glass of wine. Actually, she has like half a glass. I give her like a tiny little glass. But also, mom is not like it's easy to get along with her because you know how her personality is.
My father is not an easy person to be in relationship with.
Yes, I agree.
I feel so.
I said so for both. It's like, although they're like, go ahead.
I have this feeling that we blame my mother. We do. We blame my mother. And that's because my father is kind of chill now. Now he's kind of chill and
but
easygoing and like whatever.
I used to blame dad.
It comes in seasons.
For early parts, the 80s dad.
There's only one bad parent at a time. Did you know that?
Oh, okay. So yeah. And then mom later on, because mom is so like, okay, let's go. Okay, let's do this. Take me here. No, do it now. She's like a parent to dad, really.
Yeah.
Okay,
She is.
so it's
She
just
had
like
to be.
it feels like I'm like me and the kids. Okay, let's go. We're going now. No, now we're going now. So that part to me, it's hard to see on a couple, like to see them, the interaction between them, and I'm like, Mom, take a chill pill. Like do sobremesa, like do the talking after our dinner. It's like just relax. Where do you have to go? Why are you in a rush to go to your apartment to watch TV? Why? Just enjoy your company.
There.
Relax. And that's the thing with Mom. It's her never being able to relax that. And I'm so like a chill kind of person. She's so like, we gotta do this. We gotta like, oh, we're done with lunch. I'm like, what are we gonna do for dinner? I'm like, who cares? We just ate. So she's like constantly worrying about the next thing, the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing. And so to me, that's like, well, how do the two of you are doing this? Dad has a lot of patience for Mom, and Mom has a lot of patience for that. And
Yeah. Exacto.
that's
I mean,
what it boils down to right now.
like, right. So there's only one bad parent at a time. And
Well, that's pretty cool
anytime.
because now that you said it, yeah, because I had a season, season 1 was definitely Dad. Season 2, Mom, then Dad, and then Mom again. It's funny.
So whenever someone says it was blank's fault, I always go to the other person to balance it out. So if you were to say, my dad, whatever, I would be like, well, Mom is no picnic, right? Like, because part of it is really understanding that together they make the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And both of them are contributing to that, right? So that's where I'm coming from by saying the other person. So my biggest takeaway from doing this exercise with relationship was the loyalty bind to the way my parents relate. And that if I can actually truly, wholeheartedly believe that I can have a relationship where conflict can be metabolized and come to a resolution properly, where a relationship where silence can be peaceful and not used to threaten the other person, where intimacy didn't mean that I would lose my sense of self, then I would be outgrowing the container that my parents held for us and betraying them in essence, right? Separating them, leaving them behind. And that's just not true.
Yeah, I was just going to say it's not true. And at the same time, I feel like you already done so much work to, I don't want to say know better, but to recognize it, even with your boundaries. I'm not going to give specifics, don't worry, but just like recognizing from the start, like, okay, I can't get involved here because it's not aligned with me. And so you are already making you've already grown in that aspect. You've already healed certain stuff, your boundaries, you discernment.
Yeah.
And so at the same time, you have to be like, okay, kind of like the card I keep getting, my tarot card, like celebrate what you've accomplished and don't focus on like the fear part. What if I go back? No, you are so aware of that. You know what I mean? Like you're so aware of the things that you've been working on that just be.
Yeah.
Like don't overthink. You already know. You know what that looks like.
Yeah. And this is why I went into this exercise, because I have been doing this Joe Dispenza meditation in the mornings.
Which one?
The abundance meditation from his new series. I think it came out last year. I believe it came out in the fall of last year. Do you remember the people talking? Well, anyway, we're in a group chat that people talking about it. And I believe it came out fall of last year. And I've been using that meditation since. And part of what he talks people through is, what are the beliefs here? Like the beliefs getting in the way of the thing that you want, which it kind of triggered me into taking action with hearing it from Swan, because she was saying the same thing as Joe Dispenza. So I was like, okay, maybe I should do this with a little bit more in depth and intention and discernment. So because writing for me is really helpful in kind of getting all of the things out, I wrote down those prompts and they were really helpful. And I set up a template so that I can do it with other wants and other areas in my life. And I didn't know that that was in there. I didn't know those were underlying beliefs. And had I not done the exercise, I would not have been able to see so clearly this thing that had been driving my relating. You're right. I'm stepping out of it. I have boundaries that I'm able to act on better and easier. And it's clearer now than it was before. So that lets me know that I'm stepping out of it. And also this exercise helped me kind of have a picture of what I'm walking away from actively to consciously walk away from it.
And at the same time, leave room for what you really want. You know, like, you know what I mean? To
What do you
leave
mean?
that's like when you're walking away from something that doesn't align for you, then you leave space for stuff that does.
Yes.
Right. So it's the flow of things. So it's great. And admirable, really, when you told me that story. I'm not going to go into details, don't worry. When you told me that story,
we could talk about it.
I was, yeah, because even with the cards I pulled out for you, it talked about that
Not repeating patterns. Yeah.
Repeating patterns. And you were like, okay. And yet at the same time, it told you, open up, you know? And so then you told me that story. I was like, you know what? That's admirable because you were able to see what you're like, this is not the kind of relationship I want at this moment. And
well,
just
this is
stick
not
to it.
The interaction that I want. I feel like I feel like now I'm able to be governed by a loyalty to my morals that I did not have before. And being able to really look at what's driving my desire, because I always follow my desire. I feel like it always led me to good things that I want. And I follow it until I can't follow it anymore. And generally the moment that is I can't follow it is usually an external force. And I feel like I realized that I do not need an external force to stop following something. And that was a really big one for me to understand, because assessing situations, I can really look at, okay, is this something that I want to engage in, and will it impact me in other ways? And when I look at it from that perspective, I was in a situation where I wouldn't be able to uphold my moral compass. So it just made it obvious, right? And everything else was everything else.
A previous version of you would have been like, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So before I would have acted very differently given the same situation.
So that's what I'm saying. It's admirable. You've already done the work and you are actually sticking to your compass, your ground, and it's something to celebrate rather than to be scared of. What if I fall back into what? You won't let yourself do it. You didn't, you know what I mean? Yeah. Yay.
Growth is occurring. Growth is among us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so that was the biggest surprise from the blocks. Is it's not fear of relationship, it's fear of relational individuation. So I'm not just choosing a partner, I'm choosing a different relational lineage, which was the thing that landed the biggest. But then there were other things that came up, and the beliefs that I'm kind of working with now is I'm walking away from that lineage, and I'm walking towards, I can remain myself while getting to know someone. I can leave before losing myself. I don't have to decide forever in order to relate, which I feel like, coming off the heels of the launch of the book, I feel like that's priceless. So that's kind of what I'm working on. That's what I'm shifting my energy towards. That's where I'm acknowledging the blocks that I did have. I'm releasing that. I'm letting go of that. I'm no longer going to repeat unconscious intimacy. And what I'm fueling is that, not these massive, grand, whatever, but it's more like I'm taking steps towards, I can be myself and get to know someone. I feel like that's manageable.
Yeah. And the other thing that, go deep and look for those answers, so when you don't know where stuff comes from, okay, where is this coming from? So when something comes up for me, I'm like, okay, is this mine? So I have a conversation with myself, with my voice. I'm like, is this mine? Where did this come from? Do I really believe that? Do I believe that? Is it something that comes from my mom? Is it something like, who does it belong to? Like, why is it present right now? And so I, at times, if something comes up, I'm like, cancel that. That's not my belief. That's not mine. And I go on to do whatever is next, So those questions is great. You should probably repeat them before the end of the episode, just so people to have them.
Yeah.
A reminder.
Yeah. And that, it's kind of fascinating how stuff like that just enters, right? Like I didn't pick that video to watch, and maybe the video picked me, and I'm grateful for it. And
that's the stuff that happens to me all the time. It's nothing is coincidence.
No. Do you?
Yeah.
So have we talked about this? Do you believe in coincidences?
We have talked about it, and I absolutely don't.
No.
Believe there's nothing coincidence. And there's, especially if there's insistence and something keeps popping up, and, it's just meant to be. Or it's something you need to, like, okay, the universe is trying to connect me with someone, or something's going to come out of this, and you'll be surprised the gifts you'll get.
Yeah. It's it just kind of took me by surprise, I think. And I do go into different materials for development and growth, and I'm drawn to the things that will help me expand. I'm drawn to things that will help me evolve, right? So I'm in the space where I'm taking in a lot of information, and there's a lot of people doing a lot of different things and saying, oh, you should do X, Y, and Z, and you should blah, blah, blah. And, you should do cold plunges, and you should do hot yoga, and you should do this, and you should do that, and you should do this, and you should do that. And I can't try all the things. And generally, I don't do lots of things. I mean, I do lots of things, but I don't do lots of things that people recommend unless it lands just so, right? And so out of all of the things that I'm kind of tapping into, intermittent fasting, creatine, protein, this thing, that thing, sleep 10 hours, wake up at 4 a.m. So sometimes I feel like my life is an experiment, right? And a lot of the things that I listen to, I don't pay attention to, and I don't do, because I can't do,
everything,
a gazillion things, right? I can't do everything. So I'm very, very selective on the things that I do. And when she said this, when she delivered this message, I thought, okay, I got to do this. So, it
resonated with you. It was meant to be. Yeah.
Right. And whoever is out there hearing this and it lands. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. You move on. You do something else until the thing that is meant for you will be for you, and that lands.
It's a smack in the forehead. This was mine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So is there anything that you're working on that you want, that you have blocks?
At this moment, blocks. I feel like at this moment, I feel like I'm in pure bliss and if anything comes up, I know I will stop, sit with it, feel it, pass me, and move on. But at this moment, I'm in a moment in my life where everything that comes to me is a gift, is a blessing. And I was filling out this paperwork for working out, and it talked about stress. So, what's your stress level? 0.
I got no stress.
I'm like, yeah, 0. So at this moment, and I'm not saying that I don't have any blocks, they're not come up.
Yeah, I feel
And
like
as
you're
they
in
come up,
flow. You're in
as they
complete
come,
flow.
oh my God. And the synchronicities that are coming my way are crazy right now.
Don't I know it? I know.
And then you call me, you're there. Okay, what are you doing? I want to know I want to do what you're doing.
I want to drink. I want to.
And so I feel like, first of all, I'm working on my purpose, right? Like I'm in my purpose. I'm working in the circle. I'm doing greatest things. I'm collaborating with people, and stuff is just coming my way. Like even friendly interactions with strangers are turning into, great meetings and whatnot. Now, do I think I'm completely healed of everything? I don't know, but as they come up, I'll address them. I'm not going to worry about any of that.
Well, it's not about that. It's just right now you're in flow.
I'm in flow.
That's it.
And I feel it. And I feel it. And I'm like, and I had my yoga teacher. We had tea after our yoga session. And then the next day she texted me. She's like, you're glowing. And it's not the first person that's told me that. Like, you are glowing. You're telling your staff you're glowing. And I'm like, okay. I remember the last time people were so like, oh, you're glowing, when I was pregnant. So I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not pregnant. But so it's that glow of like things are working out, they're coming my way. Like it's the trust, really. The trust. I feel like I'm in full trust of what the universe has for me. The support that's coming, and that's always there.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like that's where I landed after I asked you, like, what the are you doing?
And so I'm like, okay, I listened to, so I had to tell you, but like, oh, this is what I do in the morning. I wake up before I even open my eyes. I already say what I'm grateful, not just for what's going to happen today, but what happened yesterday as well. Yesterday was a gift. I received this, and that. Today is a gift. Thank you for the gifts that are coming. And then I go on into listening my spiritual music. And so in the mornings and before I go to bed, I only listen to messages that resonate with me, which talk about abundance, healing, being, oneness, and all of that stuff. And so that's what I listen. And sometimes in the morning I wake up and those songs are playing in my head, like I'm in tune with that. When I take a shower, I'm putting also those kind of songs on. So I'm like, after 3 songs, I'm done with my shower.
Wait. So you're not listening to how AI is going to take over the world and kill us all. You're not listening to you're not listening to how the world the president has sole presidential authority and the world can end in minutes to 72 hours. Is that what you're telling me? You're not listening to that?
Yes, I'm not.
Okay.
Especially in the morning and before bed. Those are sacred spaces. That's sacred time for me. And
that we're 30 minutes away from the world ending. It's ever since nuclear. Okay. Yeah. You don't listen to that.
At this moment, I am not listening to that at all. And yet I want to I want to be able to have conversations with people that are keeping up with all this nonsense, right? And I don't want to say nonsense like it doesn't, like it doesn't have a meaning. But at the end, I can't allow it in me or give it a meaning that it's hurtful to where I am or that basically brings down my high vibration, because I'm glowing. I'm shining. And so, and it's fun. It's not like yesterday. I had prepared for the circle. It was snowing, like it was snowing. And I thought, maybe they're not going to come. And I was like, you know what? Just keep going. If two people show up, somebody told me this. If two people show up, meaning me, I'm one. If the next person shows up, it's two that makes a circle. And plus, the intention of the space and just they will come. And so I trusted that.
If you build it.
And so I finished preparing for the circle. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to put gym clothes. If nobody comes, I'm just going to work out. And they showed up. And I was so excited. I got a text. Oh, we're on our way. Me and my sister. And then another girl showed up. So I'm like, okay, in the snowstorm, we were 4. And, and I was working with all the elements. So I'm like, okay, you can sit in front of fire. I had lined them up with the elements. And we had such an amazing session. I was, vibrating high. Then I went to have dinner with the boys. And after that, the girl that came to the circle, she was like, hey, there's a salsa band near you. And you want to come? And I'm like, it's snowing. And then I'm like, okay, you were brave enough to come to the circle during the snow. I'll show up, which is 3 blocks away from my house, from the apartment, actually. I'll show up to the salsa event, or it was the salsa band. There were not a lot of people. The music was great. And I ended up sitting next to a lady that was with her niece. And I ended up meeting this girl whose birthday is the 25th of January. So we're Aquarius, and we connected. It was like, and my voice was telling me, talk to her. I'm like, okay, fine, I'm gonna talk to her. So I started talking to her, and now I have her numbers. I'm thinking something's gonna come out of this. And I'm trusting that every connection that comes my way, there's a reason, there's a purpose. And boy, are there purposes in every connection. So we'll see what happens from that. So I was just like, okay, I got home at like 10 something. And I'm laying down in bed and I'm like, thank you for the gifts. Thank you for the gift of meeting this woman. Thank you. So that's what I'm doing. Now, does this work for everybody? I don't know. This is working for me. It's not an equation of success for everybody.
Like an algorithm. It's
I'm not going to say formula. But it's how this is where I am right now. And so when you talk about, I was doing the Joe Dispenza meditations, but I feel now that with what I'm doing, I am constantly in meditation, if you know what I mean. Like meaning,
yeah, I do.
I'm taking a shower, I'm listening to this, I'm repeating, and I'm closing my eyes as I shower. I envision stuff that doesn't serve me washing away. There is different types of meditations. There's walking meditations. And I feel like I'm in a state of meditation morning and night for a longer period of time than just sitting and closing your eyes. And also, I'm making meditations for the circle. I'm doing this, and anyway, one of the girls that shows up that went to the salsa thing, I asked her, hey, it was her first time coming to the circle too, and she came in the storm. Okay, so I'm like, hey, how did you feel about the circle? How did you like it? And she's like, it was great. It was like therapy. And I'm like, well, okay, yeah, it's about healing. Yes, it's like a therapy.
That's so funny.
So, yeah.
Why is that so funny?
That was funny. I laughed too. I'm like, it was like therapy. Hey,
that's so funny. Well,
okay.
I'm definitely going
to my circle.
Yeah, I'm definitely going. I have to go. Obviously, I have to go. It's a matter of time.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will leave you with the questions because they helped me tremendously. Again, I didn't come up with them. Teal Swan did. Whether she's a cult leader or not, that's up to you to decide. I don't, promote cults. But here we are. What do I want? What are my blocks? If I were to maintain this belief to preserve my idea of someone or my view of someone, who would that someone be? And how would this belief manage to do that? Having everything I want, this would be a problem for who? Can I know this? This is absolutely true. No.
Okay.
What are beliefs I want to have and how do I prove them?
Nice. And as you respond these, just whatever comes in your mind, just say it, spit it out. So basically, the whole exercise is to get all your thoughts or whatever your silly mind says about certain things and write them down so you are aware of them.
Yeah.
Don't be overthinking the answers. Just
It's
let
free
it flow.
association.
Yeah, just vomit them out.
This is what we have for you this week. The blocks.
We will be back next week.
With your permission.
With your permission. Bye.
And that is all we have for you this week.
Make sure you follow Permission the Podcast.
And we'll be back next week with your permission.